course. Every conference win is a big win. Every win is a big win. Every day that we play well is a great day.
Temple field hockey is one step closer to a spot in the Big East postseason.
Perfect at home and moving up in the national rankings. We'll break it all down.
I'm Kylie O'Connor, live in the studio. Later in the show, I'll tell you about how one team prepares for the Nikki Frank Classic here at Temple.
And I'm Jay Colsauer, covering both the men and women's tennis teams at the ITA Regionals.
I'm Xavier Adams, live at Pearson McGonigal Hall, and later in the show, I'll be taking a look at how the Temple volleyball team is faring at the halfway point of the in-conference season, as well as a freshman looking to continue a dominant run. OwlSports Update is live, and it starts right now.
It's almost the end of October, which means some fall sports are nearing the end of their seasons. Hello and welcome to OwlSports Update. I'm Natalie Koranda.
And I'm Gabriel Linington. It was homecoming weekend for Temple football, and the news is mostly good coming off the bye week. And the field hockey team has just 4 more regular season games left after a split this past weekend. We go. Temple is looking for its 7th win in a row in a Big East matchup with Georgetown in town. Owls get going early as they move down the left wing. Augustina Tuccelli takes the pass in from Merth Schillenberg at the top of the circle and gets the clinical finish into the top right of the cage. This is Tuccelli's 2nd goal of the season. Moving into the second, Schillenberg wants to get onto the score sheet this time. She collects the ball from a far side for an easy finish. Then, to finish off the scoring, the Cherry and White get the corner and Tess Muller gets great contact with the ball to hit the back of the cage. Temple held a 17-9 shot advantage as they dominated offensively. Temple wins 3-0. This is Temple's 6th time they've won 7 games in a row in program history.
Now, right after this win, the Owls traveled to the Leopards' Den on Sunday. The Owls now with that 7-game win streak, the longest since 2006. 12 minutes into the first, Lafayette's Stella Malinowski puts the Leopards on a board on a penalty stroke. After this, neither team sees the goal till the 4th. The Owls attempt to respond with one of its own as Ali Mays takes a shot, but it is blocked by junior goalkeeper Rafi Frogomeni. This was the goalkeeper's first out of 4 saves. Moving into the 4th, the pressure is on as the Owls are looking to tie this matchup. Tess Muller gets the ball up to Elise Mays, and she sets up for the shot for Agustina Tuccelli, who finally gets it into the cage. The tie sends this matchup into overtime, and 5 minutes into overtime, Lafayette with the ball, Lanique Spans puts an end to this matchup. A sweet victory for the Leopards on senior day, but a bitter end to a lengthy win streak for the Owls. The final score, 2-1.
The field hockey team's home versus away numbers are jarring. The Owls are 9-5 overall, but 7 of those wins have come at home compared to just 2 on the road. Their goals per game at home are higher, but the biggest gap comes in goals against. Temple is so hard to score on at home, with a .422 goals against average, coming to giving up more than 2.5 goals per game on the road.
That fact, someone told me that. Yeah, we actually haven't lost on our home turf yet. Oh God, I'm a bit of a jinx, so I don't want to jinx myself. But it's just about playing home in their environment. They sleep in their beds, they get their food that they want. It's probably a little bit more routine for them. Obviously, home field advantage. Their parents are here, the fans are here.
I think being here every day makes it really. It feels like home, and the parents obviously are a great support for us. They're all here, and it's just very nice to be playing on our turf, and it feels really good.
The 19th ranked Owls will be tested on the road again on Friday, but it's a short trip out to the main line to take Villanova in a Big East matchup. The Owls can clinch a playoff spot with a win. Right now, Temple is in a 3-way tie for the top spot in the Big East against UConn and Old Dominion with just 2 games to go. Game time is set for 1 o'clock.
Now for a homecoming special. We are moving over to the link as the Owls matched up against Tulsa on Saturday. We start off with a little bit of flair as Evan Simon laterals to Kajia Holloway, who passed it downfield to Daniel Everett for the trick play and the first down. Then to extend the lead even further, Simon finds some space and gets the pass into tight end Peter Clark. This was Clark's 5th career catch and his 3rd touchdown for the Cherry and White to bring the Owls up 10. Temple really got going as they were back into a scoring position, but John Adams gets tackled at the 1. But all is good for the Cherry and White. Terrence Worthy is pushed in for the score and Temple is up by 17. Then late in the half, Simon goes for a deep pass on 4th down and it drops into the hands of Tulsa's Jay Johnson to finish the half. Second half, the Golden Hurricanes start off with a bang. Kirk Francis finds a wide open Anthony Watkins who uses his pace to get into the end zone for a 63 yards and the score, the longest play for the Golden Hurricane this season. Tulsa follows that with a field goal to make this a game. But late in the game, Temple then show off its defense, forcing Tulsa to throw an incomplete pass. The Owls get their 2nd win of the season on homecoming. Temple beats Tulsa 20-10.
Critical. I think you got to give credit to the offensive line, and Everett Withers is doing a great job of, calling plays that are designed to stop the run, and our linebackers are well coached by Chris Woods, and they're fitting gaps when things are not quite going well up front, and when there's misfits up front, those backers are making it right, and we're tackling. We're doing a much better job of tackling. We knew that was a team that wasn't going to quit. We didn't perform to the best of our ability. We had some self-inflicted penalties on offense as well. It just became a penalty fest for us in the 3rd quarter. But it's something that we got to fix in a hurry if we want to continue to win ball games, that's for sure.
A good win, so let's break it down.
We have Inside the Nest beat reporter Kayla Levine live with us at the studio set to give a breakdown of the matchup against Tulsa. Hey Kayla.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me.
So our first question. Temple had 17-0 at halftime. Such a successful first half. What are some takeaways?
Yeah, the Owls' start to the first half was strong on both sides. Evan Simon's offense scored 17 points in the first half, and the defensive unit did not allow the Tulsa Golden Hurricane to score until the 3rd quarter and not again after that. An interception and a fumble recovery by Temple's defense were 2 key plays that secured Temple's win over Tulsa for the first conference win of the season.
Kayla, Simon made his return after being out due to a shoulder injury. What do you think about his performance for his first game back?
Yeah, Evan Simon's return after his Week 6 shoulder injury was one to remember. Simon threw for almost 300 yards and had 1 touchdown. I do think this is one of his best games offensively so far this season. Even though they only had 1 passing touchdown, he was using his arm way more than he has in past games so far this season. I do think him passing more will make a big impact on the next coming weeks, especially if he can get more confident in the passing game for this weekend's matchup at ECU.
Well, talking about ECU, they have the same record as Temple. What are some expectations for this weekend?
Yeah, the upcoming game at ECU is going to be a challenging one for Temple, but I do think there's a good chance they're going to come home with their 2nd conference win. The Pirates are 3-4 on the season and 1-2 in conference play, which is almost the same as Temple. They're also without a head coach right now. Their defensive coordinator, Blake Harrell, will be an interim coach for this weekend's matchup. This will be their first game without their head coach, so at this point, we don't know what the momentum of their team will look like heading into this weekend's matchup.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Kayla.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
You can catch Kayla back on Inside the Nest next Tuesday to give a breakdown of this weekend's matchup against East Carolina. Here's the history with the Pirates. ECU has dominated the past 3 games, and Temple won the 3 games before that. It will be an interesting one on Saturday. As Kayla mentioned a minute ago, the Pirates are a team in transition. This past Sunday, the school fired its head coach, Mike Houston, after the blowout loss to Army. So it's unclear whether Temple will see a reeling Pirates team or a refocused team under interim head coach Blake Harrell.
We're getting ready to play a really good ECU team that's facing some adversity of their own, and obviously that's a very talented football team that's going through some things right now, but we have to play better if we want another opportunity for a victory. Got to eliminate our penalties, got to play better up front on offense, and we're going to anticipate a tough outfit in East Carolina. I mean, those guys are pretty doggone good now. I mean, they are. I don't know what happened. It's not my business, but and I do wish Mike well. He's a phenomenal coach and a good man, but I'm sure they're going to rally the troops.
The football game is just one part of a bigger day during homecoming weekend. Friends, family, and alumni gathered at Lincoln Financial Field hours prior to kickoff to enjoy tailgating filled with plenty of fun and festivities, all to cheer on the Cherry and White. Here's OwlSports Update's Gabriel Bachelor.
It's Temple's biggest party each fall, and most often, it starts well before noon. This is Temple's homecoming Saturday at Lincoln Financial Field. There's dancing, good food, and a common celebration echoing throughout most parking lots surrounding the field.
I love coming out of the tailgate because I'm an international student. It's family weekend, and my family can come down here from India, so it's just nice to meet with my best friends' families.
I am at the Temple Homecoming Tailgate where people from all across the country of all different ages come together to join in on some school spirit. Go Owls!
The culture at these tailgates is part of the reason people come back every year. It also gives a chance for multiple generations of Temple families to show their support.
I think it's a fabulous family-friendly environment. My older son went here, my younger son goes here.
One of the best parts about this tailgate is the fact that alumni can find their way back. This is the case for Sheldon Morris, former Temple running back, class of 1988.
I come every home game, and sometimes we go to away game. All the guys that I play with, we stay together. We've been friends, lifelong friends, since we lived in Peabody Hall. Coming back for homecoming is awesome. And I wish the regular student body would come to every game just like they do homecoming, because that's what the team needs. They need that support.
For Temple students, alumni, and fans, homecoming is more than just a game. It's a celebration of friendship and school spirit that will continue long enough for these current students to one day be dedicated alums. At Lincoln Financial Field, I'm Gabriel Bachelor, OwlSports Update.
Now we are up against our first break of the show. When we return, our own Jake Holzhauer joins us at the studio set for some tennis talk.
We will also have a look at the transfer portal and how it's helping new Temple athletes. See you in 90 seconds. Welcome back. Head coach Diane Richardson has some family ties with some silverware. Daughter Jonquel Jones recently celebrated the New York Liberty's first WNBA championship. The four-time All-Star delivered a finals MVP performance to win the championship.
To the men, former guard Heisier Miller led the Owls in scoring last season and helped lead the team to the AAC Tournament Championship game. One season later, he's looking for a new team. Miller transferred to Virginia Tech in April, but even before the season started, he's been left off the team. The school says it's the result of issues prior to his enrollment at VTech. Sports Illustrated is reporting the issue dates back to Miller's time at Temple and a current gambling investigation.
It looks like Miller's jump into the transfer portal didn't work out like he had hoped. The portal is a hit or miss for many college athletes. Temple, like other schools, has seen a consistent increase in student athlete transfers, and many more are making their most of their new home.
In 2018, the NCAA launched the transfer portal, and college sports haven't been the same since. College athletes now have more control over their careers as they can transfer from school to school without a penalty. Some transfer for better NIL deals, some transfer to be a part of a winning program, and some transfer hoping to earn more playing time. More than 31,000 student athletes entered the transfer portal in 2023 alone. In Alyssa Finister's case, she entered the portal in search of a better fit on the volleyball court.
Transferring sometimes could be a hit or miss, and mine hit for real. This team is really cool. The coach is great. The coaches are great.
She really makes an effort to build relationships with everyone on the team, which really helps. And she's very calm, which is a great addition to our crazy group. So
Volleyball isn't the only sport affected by the transfer portal at Temple. Men's soccer player Diego Diaz didn't make the trip too far from University Park to North Broad.
Diaz played in just 2 games last season for Penn State. This season at Temple, he started 11 of the team's 13 games.
I decided to transfer because I needed minutes, and fortunately Coach Green was able to give me that. I needed to build up my confidence, I needed to build up my play.
He's definitely benefited the team culture, and he's just someone that I love to be around.
The transfer portal gives players a chance to progress, and the goal is to help their new college program. It doesn't always work for the athlete, nor does it always help the team, but some of the success stories are undeniable.
The portal continues to grow across the country. The number of student athletes entering the portal in 2023 was 12% higher than 1 year earlier in 2022.
Over the weekend, both tennis teams competed at the ITA Regionals hosted by Penn. While the women walked away with a few wins under their wings, the men showed that they have some work to do. OwlSports Update's Jake Holzhauer is at the studio set with the results. Hey, Jake.
Hey, Natalie. The Intercollegiate Tennis Association College Tennis Tournament, or the ITA Regionals, is a regional and national tennis tournament. The women's team found success in doubles, reaching the round of 16, while 2 other Owls reached the round of 32 in singles. Meanwhile, the men's team lost in duos in the round of 62, losing 8 sets to 7. By this time next week, the tennis team will be down in the Lone Star State to compete in the AAC Fall Championships. The men's team are coming into this tournament with a 7-14 record, while the leader of their conference is Memphis with a 19-7 record. For the women's team, Temple is above 500 at 9-8. Well, that's all I have from the tennis team. Reporting from the studio set, I am Jake Holzhauer. Gabriel and Natalie, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jake. It's now time for our second break of the show, but stay in your seats.
Next up is all things volleyball. See you in 90 seconds. Welcome back and into McGonigal Hall. If you were just looking at the score sheet, you would think Temple breezed past Charlotte, but the last set was a tense one. Temple seemed unbeatable as they had a 23-13 lead, but Charlotte rallies for 11 straight points and the score is tied at 24-24. The 49ers only scored 3 times off their offensive attack as Temple was shaky defensively. But Temple gets the last play as offensive stars Sydney Jones and Taylor Davenport get a pair of kills to put this set away. Temple gets the win over Charlotte 3-0. Even with the win, Temple volleyball isn't boasting the best overall record at 2-6 in conference, but the future looks bright. Freshman Sydney Jones has become a star on this Temple team, and OwlSports Updates Xavier Williams explains from McGonigal Hall. Hi, Xavier.
Hey Gabe, it's safe to say Temple volleyball isn't where they want to be currently. Sitting at just a 2-6 in conference record, they're looking to quickly turn things around, and they might have found their answer in freshman Sydney Jones. Jones arrived early last spring and has wasted no time to make her presence felt. She's worked her way into a prominent role with the team and has no plans of slowing down. For a freshman athlete, the typical game plan is usually to spend the first year learning, watching, and often waiting, especially for D1 athletes. But number 10 Sydney Jones is an exception, as she has made herself a key part of Temple volleyball in just her first year on the court. And it all started this past spring when she enrolled early at Temple.
I feel like coming early in the spring was definitely a big help because we played a couple of games in the spring, so that was easy to adjust to the higher level of play that Temple plays.
You know, nothing has really shocked me. We could see her potential. We could see that she was going to be an impactful player and projected that she would probably impact right away.
Jones has already established herself in this Owl squad in just her first year, ranking in the top 10 for average kills per set in the AAC, and is the only freshman among those 10.
I feel like them having confidence in me and the trust in me helps me to play better, and also the high level that we have in the gym, so holding each other accountable, and that really helps to be able to play on the court with everybody.
Honestly, it's her leadership on and off the court. She's just a person that you want to gravitate to. She has a great personality on the court. She's motivating everybody. I couldn't ask for a better person to come in with, honestly. So.
The Owls are struggling overall at the halfway mark, with an in-conference record of 2-6 and 8 matches left to go, giving Jones more time to continue growing inside of a program still trying to rebuild. Jones and the Owls play their next 2 games at home, both this weekend against UTSA and Rice. Reporting live from McGonigal Hall, I'm Xavier Adams, OwlSports Update.
Thanks, Xavier. We are now at our last break of the show, but there's still plenty more to come.
Including talk centering on one of Temple's nationally ranked teams.
Yes, Gabe, the fencing season is underway a bit early this year. I'll tell you why when we come back in 90 seconds. Welcome back. Most often we think of fencing as a winter sport in college athletics. But this season, Temple started its year just a few days into October as the team gets ready for its second season under Jenny Salmon. It's one of the longest seasons in college sports. Temple women's fencing began its season the first week in October with a trip to Atlantic City where the Owls competed in the USA Fencing North American Cup.
It was definitely a success for us. It's very early for us to be competing as a team.
In fact, earlier than last season by almost 3 weeks, and the season doesn't wrap up until late March.
We don't usually go to a national until January, but the opportunity to fence so close to home in Atlantic City, we had to take advantage of it.
The in-season work for the Owls is intense. The team lifts 3 days a week in the morning with afternoon practices. That means this group spends a great deal of time together, something senior Anna Novosetseva knows very well.
We're very supportive of each other. We're like all sisters, but we definitely are like competitive with each other in a good way. We want to push each other to do better. We want to better ourselves. We're very together and supportive overall.
Fencing is an individual competition, but it's scored as a team sport.
In the classic fencing thing is to say one touch at a time, focus forward on what's in front of you. You do have to have, extreme mental discipline to be able to reset and continue to execute through a moment where you didn't score the touch, but you're still in the bout.
The Owls travel up and down the East Coast, but their next meet is on campus at the Nikki Frank Classic. It's one of the few times this season the Owls will compete in front of their home fans. The Nikki Frank Classic runs both Saturday and Sunday at the Liacouras Center. 22 teams are signed up to compete. Reporting for OwlSports Update, I'm Kylie O'Connor. Guys, it's back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Kylie. It's a full weekend of play for Temple Athletics. On Friday, men's and women's tennis head to Houston for the weekend to play in the AAC Fall Championships. Field hockey takes on Villanova, and women's volleyball is on Broad against UTSA. Come Saturday, the annual Head of the Schuylkill Regatta is back for crew and rowing. We have that Nikki Frank Classic as well. Women's lacrosse plays in the Billy 5 tournament, and men's soccer takes on Florida International at home. To end the weekend, women's soccer takes on UAB at home, field hockey travels to play Yale, and women's volleyball takes on Rice at McGonigal Hall. Can't make it to every single event? Well, you can follow us on social at OwlSports Update to catch updates all weekend long. Don't miss the Sports Brief on Monday. Inside the Nest is live again on Tuesday, and a week from today, OwlSports Update returns.
That's all the time we have for today. And when this duo returns, basketball season will have officially begun. On behalf of our entire crew, I'm Gabriel Linington. She's Natalie Koranda. Thank you and have a great weekend.